What's up, y'all? It's me, the icon, Jacen Bowman. I'm here with Lonnie Bee on Artist Unplugged.
Hey, what's up? How's everybody doing? I am your Judy on Duty, Lonnie Bee, and baby, today is the day I have the icon of everything, all right? I'm talking about the activist, the ballroom slayer, the $25,000 moment. He is here with me today, the president of the United States of Gay America, Jacen!
The United States, wait, the president of the United States
of Gay America.
I'll take it.
Jacen, thank you so much for coming.
Of course, no
Well,
problem.
first and foremost, y'all, Jacen is here in the city, okay, Washington, D.C. Jacen was doing whatever Jacen doing as far as his activist work and his business work. You know, Jacen does everything trying to make a difference in our community. I said, I want to hit Jacen up since he here in the city and see if he'll come and do the podcast. Jacen just got dressed. Talking about he just threw that on.
I did. I just threw it on. I was in the bed, untucked and untamed, like just laying down. I don't get my hair cut till tomorrow, but you called, I answered. I'm here.
Thank you so much, Jacen. You look amazing. First of all, how have you been mentally? Because you've been doing a lot.
It's been heavy. As you know, 2 days ago, my son from the House of Prodigy was just murdered in the neighborhood. I've been processing and dealing with that. Just trying to stay busy so that I don't end up having a breakdown.
Right.
I did say that after this weekend, I know it's Pride Month, but I ain't gay no more for at least 2 weeks. I just need a little break to kind of like bring it in and just kind of like decompress. No phone, no internet, no social media, no nothing. Because if I don't take care of my own mental health, I can't show up in the community.
Jacen. So. That's right. Yes. So I want to start from the beginning. Can you share your journey of your self-discovery of how you identify with being a gay man?
I never had a closet I came out of.
Work.
I was always this, Jacen.
Right.
I was always expressive and creative. I was always outspoken. I always had more girlfriends as like friends than I did boys. I hung with my sisters a lot. I played with dolls. You know, no one ever like questioned me at all.
Right.
I would say that I didn't understand what it was to be gay probably until about 12th grade.
Okay.
I did have an uncle. His name was Daryl. I was extremely close to my cousin Daryl.
Yes.
Well, cousin / uncle. You know, in a black family, your cousin is your uncle. It's really your cousin. He was gay. I remember he passed away in '96 because of HIV/AIDS related issues. And I remember before he passed, I was in his room and he was doing his dialysis. He was changing stuff. And I remember my cousin was my complexion. Okay. And as time went on, the disease ended up making him extremely dark. And I remember looking at him and I said to myself, like, what's wrong with you? Uncle Daryl, why are you so dark skinned? And he said, I got this disease that they can't figure out what it is yet, but when you finally realize who you are, you make sure you're safe out here. I was like 11. And that conversation stuck with me. Once I kind of entered or walked into my queerness full circle and full of life of it all. And I was like, okay, this is what he meant. So from that point on, I guess you could say a light went on in my head that I had to stay protected, but I was still, young and reckless, but I'm reckless to the point where I'm still standing here today, 42 years old. So
yes.
I'm here.
And you look good.
Thank you.
Okay, tens across the motherfucking board.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So look, what motivates you to become an activist within the community?
My mother. My mom was born with spina bifida, which is a neurological disorder that affects the spine. She wasn't supposed to live past the age of 14. My mom wasn't supposed to have any children. She wasn't supposed to, walk.
Wow.
She's from the projects in Champ Plus Homes in Philly. And I watched my mom overcome every single obstacle that she had to overcome. I watched her get into being a foster care recruiter, advocating for kids that were in the foster care system. So I watched my mom be this champion and be this superwoman, the master of all things that she touched. And watching my mom do those things is why I kind of like decided that I wanted to make sure that I advocated for people and I looked out for people and I cared about people that were disabled or people who were less fortunate, or even though I was less fortunate, I'm just making sure that I'm becoming an advocate in this community. And I think too, a lot of it is I had a lot of black men that for some reason took to me. And I remember being young, coming to DC, hanging outside of Follies and the Wet and Edge and
come on, Jacen.
And, you know, being young, going to them clubs, right? Like being young, and you know, it was the Tanakas, the Cabbages, the Khans. I mean, I can name all kinds of people that, you know, really made sure that they protected me and guided me. And because of those men, Michael Henson, Tyrone Smith, Man Prodigy, Darryl Brown, they kept me grounded. They let me get into some brick walls and then pick myself back up again, but they really protected me. So like now, in this age, I can finally stand 10 toes down and admit that I'm an elder and make sure that I show up for the youth and be that person to them that they were to me. So I do think that it's interesting that I do this work because this work is voluntary. We don't get paid for this work. Right. But it is very fulfilling, and the payment is being able to, you know, years from now, somebody will look back and be like, I remember when Jacen told me to stop. I remember when Jacen told me don't do that. I remember when Jacen said enough is enough. Right. So I'm thankful for that. You know, my growing pains didn't leave permanent stains on my life that hindered me from where I am now. So I'm thankful for that.
Come on, y'all. You see how he talking like he in front of that podium. You see how he talking. Go ahead, Jacen. Jacen is groomed. He's the perfect man for this. Is there ever a moment, Jacen, where you feel like, I'm tired of doing this shit?
I think we all have those moments, right?
I just wanted you to say it.
Yeah, I think we all have those moments. And like, even like now, people are confused because they know me as a makeup artist. But I refuse for people to keep having me trapped in that box.
Come on, Jacen.
I didn't want to just be, oh, that's Jacen, the makeup artist. That's Jacen from Ballroom. You know, all of my life, I was always taught to keep a lot of those people separate. But I couldn't be my whole self and walk in my true purpose if all the uniqueness and the charisma and the outspokenness of Jacen didn't bleed into one.
That makes so much sense, Jacen.
Because right now people always say you gotta show up as your authentic self. Well, how can I be my authentic self if I'm makeup artist Jacen, I'm ballroom Jacen, I'm the advocate Jacen, I'm the gay pride Jacen, and then I'm the little, you know, I'm the party monster at times too. Right. All them people had to be one person so that I can be whole, so that way I can teach my wholeness to others.
That makes so much sense. And that's so important that you tap into each one of those entities. That's
the shades of Jacen.
Yeah, the shades of Jacen.
The shades of Jacen.
Now you know how people could take that too, because they say you shady, Jacen.
I'm not, you know what, I am shady.
Okay.
I am.
I never seen it, I don't want to see it.
No, but here's my thing, I am.
Okay.
And I think that any story that you hear about me, believe it. Okay. Because they did something to me that got that part of it.
Okay, come on, Jacen.
Yeah, because other than that, nice as it can be. I don't want to say me being an Aquarius has anything to do with it, but most times I am a little standoffish. Okay. Most times I like to, observe. Right. I'm really an introvert, but because of the work that I do, I'm forced to be an extrovert. Yeah. But I would rather come into the room and just blend into the wall and watch everybody and be observant. But sometimes I can't do that in certain spaces. But most times people will mistake my pretty privilege for me being, a diva or me being an asshole or me being arrogant. I'm none of those things. But if I ever was that way to you, you deserved it.
Right, because it's something they did to you.
It's something they did to me. Right. Because I ain't gonna just go out my way to be nasty for no reason. Or I might be flirting with you. Right. Because, my weird self, when I'm flirting with you, I'm usually a little bit more aggressive.
Really?
It's the Philly in me.
Is your flirt, you flirting, is it shady too?
It could be a little shady.
Oh, okay.
I might start busting when you reading on you. But I mean it in love. I mean it in love.
Well, I must say, meeting Jacen have a beautiful spirit. Jacen have a beautiful spirit, yes. And Jacen also came out to support my play. We'll talk about that later. Yes, thank you, Jacen, yes. So how have your personal experience shaped your views as an activist?
My lived experience has really shaped how I view things because I think about, for example, when it comes to trans people, I think it's so important for us to advocate and stand up for our trans community because there were beautiful trans women that ushered me in and taught me the ropes. I wouldn't know a lot about makeup and beauty and what it means to have that essence of walking into a room and commanding it if it wasn't for Carrie Mithrahi, if it wasn't for Sanaya Ebony, if it wasn't for Saisha Ebony, if it wasn't for a lot of the trans women that I came in contact with, they taught me what it is to #feel it. Right. Walk into the space, own the room, catch each angle in the light. Yes. You learn that from our trans women. So I've always been making sure that I advocate for those that taught me the way. I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for them. And even outside of just our trans community, I think that it's important that when you go through a lot of things in life has a way of documenting your journey, but also it gives you a manual on how you can now make room and advocate for the ones after you. Because you have to be able to pass that baton.
Talk it.
You have to be able to use this platform and actually speak truth to power.
Talk it.
And a lot of times, purpose ain't pretty.
Come on, Jacen.
Purpose is not pretty. It's not though.
Bitch, this is your gay president. This is who this is.
Purpose is not pretty.
That's right.
And it doesn't always fit into a perfect frame.
That's right.
And in that, one thing that will survive is the truth.
That's right.
You have to lead with intention and make sure that you are always advocating for the truth. And sometimes in these roles of leadership, we make mistakes. But in making those mistakes, you learn from those mistakes quickly. So that way, some of the things that we learn along the way, we have to unlearn. Because how we treat people all the time is not good.
That's right.
We think that we being good to them, but we not. And I know that I've mistreated folks along the way. I had to unlearn a lot of behavior that people have instilled in me. But thank God I was able to relearn and relearn because you're forever a student.
That's right. So let me ask you this question. Do you think it's some misunderstood or misplaced energy between the butch queens and the trans women?
Yes, but I think a lot of times where the misplaced energy comes from, no matter how feminine, how pretty, no matter how cunt I may be, I am not one of the girls.
Right.
I'm not. I'm just not one of the girls. I'm not in competition with trying to be one of the girls. I'm just not. It's funny, one of my friends, Andre, we always joke, we call ourselves him queens.
Andre Mizrahi?
No, Andre West.
Okay.
Andre Adonis. We always joke and say that.
Andre.
Shout out to Andre. We always say that we're the him queens. Because, you have him queens in Ballroom. You got the butch queen version. You got the him queens.
Okay.
We're pretty. We like surgery. We're into those things. But even in still, we're not the girls.
Right.
We're not.
And when you say you're not the girls, you're speaking of trans women.
Trans women, film queens in Ballroom. We're not those women. We're not. And there should be no battle.
Right.
There should be no competition.
Where do you think that comes from, that battle?
I think a lot of times some of them deep down inside want to be the girl. They want to be girls. And if that's what you want to be, stand in your truth.
Right.
You don't have to disrespect one of our girls to be the girl. Be the girl.
Right.
Learn.
Right.
Allow yourself to learn their ways.
Right. I like that. That is so true. That is so true. I never thought that they probably want to be the girl.
They want to be the girl.
That is so true. Come on now, Jacen. You are here talking, and I like it. Yes. Okay. What challenges have you faced as a gay man, and how they influence your activism?
I have a criminal background record.
Oh, okay.
I went to jail.
Bitch, Jacen talking. What happened, Jacen?
What happened?
Yeah.
Oh Lord, that was a different Jacen at a different. And even in those trials and tribulations, from boosting and running in and out of stores, it was survival. It was me. It was me, and I like to always say this: I wasn't homeless because I had no home or no place to go. I was homeless by choice, because I did not respect my mother's home. And my mom said, you ain't gonna be doing X, Y, and Z, walking in here doing X, Y, and Z. And if you gonna do that, get out.
Right.
So I did just that. I got out. I couch surfed. I had my village that protected me, but even in that thing.
Now, couch surf, that means going house to house?
House to house.
Okay.
I couch surf. I hung out with, stayed with some of my house fathers until I got myself together.
Right.
But even in that, I picked up some of those bad traits along the way. And those bad traits, luckily, once I got knocked on my ass good enough, I stopped.
Right.
And I'm able to overcome those stories. So now when you look at me, you would never think that you went through that. Yes, I did. And I'm not ashamed of it. Because again, like I said earlier, my growing pains didn't leave permanent stains on me that hindered me from growing.
Right.
It's not about where you're going, it's where you came from.
Right. That is so true. So let me ask you this. Why do about 85% of the icons in the ballroom have a criminal background?
Because we were 85% trying to survive for people that we were protecting and uplifting at the same time. We were taking care of the less fortunate. We were taking care of households.
Bitch, it was
we were
giving
maintaining
Robin Hood.
households.
It was giving Robin Hood. Yeah.
It was. It was. But I don't even think that we have icons in Ballroom that don't have.
Right.
So, I think that some of the misconceptions I used to always hate, and why I hid being a ballroom child when I started doing makeup and moving through the industry, is because they had this misconception that we were all prostitutes, we were all thieves, we all did credit card fraud and check. No, Ballroom has some of the most educated people.
Yes.
We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have psychiatrists, we have people in the creative sector. We have so many different people that are multifaceted and talented in the ballroom scene that they want to just keep focusing on the negative.
Yes.
And even when we were doing those things out of survival that people would deem as negative, we were still maintaining a a lived experience image that we projected. We were still in survival mode. So I debunk and I rebuke those statements that they think that 85% of icons in Ballroom have criminal background records. No, I'm not going for that.
And I just been taught something. Yes, so I rebuke that shit too. Thank you, Jacen. Thank you. Yes. So how do you, how can I say this? How do you keep your self-care intact along with engaging into all of the things that you do? Meaning, how do you keep yourself mentally stable while engaging into helping other people while dealing with your own trauma and personal experiences?
I take extended breaks. Extended breaks. I also meditate. Sometimes I sit, I've got this new thing where I want to start reading books again. So I got a tattoo on my neck about a year ago, and it says Let Them. I just started reading a book that's called Let Them.
Okay.
And a lot of times with me reading books and just spending time to myself, working on my self-care. So it ain't no secret on my social media, I'm a big advocate of cosmetic care because I think that when you reach a certain age, the gym ain't gonna do but so much. Go get a nip tuck, go get taken care of. Go get your Botox, go get your fillers. We know, go do the things that's gonna make you feel good. And by me doing those things that are making me feel good, that's how I'm able to recharge Jacen and then pour Jacen back out.
Yes.
So it's just a constant that, you know.
I like that,
self-care, taking care of massages. I love me a massage.
Right.
Gotta
So
give me a
what do
massage.
you say to the girl or the boy that says surgery is a sign of low self-esteem?
You jealous. You're poor. You ain't got no money. Because trust me, you look in the mirror, you find something wrong every day. And guess what? I'm a big advocate. If I don't like it, I'm fixing it.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to encourage somebody to go get, cosmetic surgery. But, my teeth, for example, I didn't like them. Didn't like them for a long while. Went to Turkey. Some of the best free money that I ever spent.
Wow.
I used my social media to be able to get my teeth done for free.
Right.
I used my social media to be able to get my liposuction for free.
Wow.
Again, y'all keep talking about these platforms that y'all building. Everybody got these personal brands, right?
Yeah.
I don't see them doing nothing.
Right.
You got 600 and something thousand followers and it ain't got $1 in your pocket.
Right.
I'm
trying so hard not to be one of those people, Jacen.
Look, I've been trying very hard. So far we just succeeded. No, but seriously, I think that you got to do what works for you. And if it ain't your thing, it ain't your thing. But who am I to judge? I do think that there are times that people get a little carried away.
Okay.
Myself included.
Really?
There was one time I looked at myself after I got my fillers, and I was chasing how I looked swollen. And I did kind of look like The Weeknd for a second. And I was like, oh, you went kind of crazy this time.
Right.
Next time, look at dissolve, calm down.
Right.
But again, that's what I wanted to do. And it's not really about low self-esteem. I was born gorgeous. You saw my baby pictures?
Baby, they were gorgeous.
I was born gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate.
Right.
Pat and Cecil got good genes.
Come on now. That's his mother and father. Shout out to Pat and Cecil.
They got good genes.
Yeah.
I was always handsome.
So was that surgery, was that a painful moment for you?
I wouldn't say it was a painful moment because it didn't hurt.
Okay.
But it was really just about me looking at something that I ain't like. And I ain't like it. And I kept contemplating and researching and trying to figure out which direction I was going to go. I found it and I'm like, all right, boom, there. But guess what? Once you get these surgeries, you got to maintain them.
Yes.
You can't just get the surgery and then not go to the gym.
Right.
So all y'all at home watching, like, oh, he could have just went to the gym. I ain't feel like it.
Right.
I ain't feel like it.
Right.
I ain't want to go to the gym.
Right.
I wanted to go see Dr. Speedback over at Sculpt in Beverly Hills. I wanted to go see the doctor. I wanted to go see Dr. B.
Yes.
I didn't want to go to the gym.
Yes.
Now, once I got it, I went to the gym. Since I crossed over and I'm doing more things in advocacy, you don't see me in my Speedos as much. But trust me, the body is vicious until it gets closed.
Come on now. Y'all got him fucked up in here. Okay, a sexy. So look, what role does the community play in your life as an activist?
A huge role. Anytime something happens, especially in the city of Philadelphia, I'm a firm believer that I have my claws in the sand when it comes to Philly. And whenever something happens, especially when the Black gay community, I'm usually the first person they talk to. I'm the first person that hears about it.
I love that.
And I take great pride with that they respect me enough. And even the ones that disrespect me in the process, that they'll learn the way.
Right.
But I take such strong pride with that because I carry Philadelphia on my back.
Yes,
and
you do.
2 years ago, I left Philly and I moved to Atlanta. And I left Philly because I hated Philly. I said, I hate being here. Like, I don't want to live here. It's boring. There's nothing to do. I read my city down. I went to Atlanta, and I felt so out of place. I didn't belong there. Number one, I didn't even ask God for permission to move there. I just moved chasing my heart.
That's important.
And then coming back home, I was able to realize everything that I was looking for in other places was right there in Philly. Why do I have to build and go outside of my city when I can stay in Philadelphia and build it there?
Jacen.
For what?
That's what I'm doing in DC.
If our gay community sucks, you help fix it.
That's
you help
right.
Fix the problem.
That's right.
And then even when how I got involved with being on Philly Black Pride's board, and even now me being the president, it's kind of like, what, I'm the president? Like, how that happened? But I got on it because I remember talking to our former president, Lee Thomas. I was saying to him, I hate how Black Pride is. Black Pride is, I was reading down. He said, well, when you gonna do something about it? And I looked at him and was like, excuse me? Like, do what? Join the board. Be the change that you seek.
Come on,
Help
Jacen.
fix the problem. Help fix the problem.
Yes.
And I was like, okay,
right.
I'm gonna do that. But for the first 2 years I was on the board, I was quiet as the church mouse, because you know, the elders don't play.
Right, they don't.
Sometimes they don't make space for new people.
They don't.
Especially young folk that think they know everything.
Yeah.
I was one of them kind of like young folk that, we gonna do this today, like slow down.
Right.
Learn the ropes.
Right.
Understand how it is to grant right, fundraise, pay taxes. You understand those things, then you can do your ideas. So I sat back and I watched for a while. I studied, I learned, and again, I can't stress this enough. In life, you have to forever be a sponge. You have to absorb.
Talk.
Keep swelling. You have to forever be a student. And in that space, I was a student. So as time went on, as I started to learn and build relationships and be able to collaborate with different people, I was able to finally understand how to navigate through advocacy work, because there's no manual. Advocates make mistakes.
Yes,
Activists make mistakes. They're not always right.
Right.
I strive to be right. I strive to do things the correct way. If I make a mistake along the way, I got my people to hold me accountable.
That's right.
And guess what? I listen to them.
Right.
Because I ain't always right.
That's right.
My way ain't always the right way to do things.
That's right.
So,
that's great. Come on, Jacen. Now, how was your family and friends supportive of you coming out?
Funny. My mom said that she didn't really pay it no mind.
Okay.
She just said that Jacen was being Jacen.
And what that mean?
I was just being Jacen. Like, that leave Jacen alone.
Okay.
Like, leave him alone. My dad, on the other hand, wasn't really cool with it. But a lot of the reasons why my dad wasn't really okay with it, because my dad had pledged in college.
Okay.
You know, got arrested. So, and when he pledged in college, they blindfolded him, and he responded to a guy giving him head. So from that point on, he absolutely despised homosexuals. Like, despised them. So him seeing, my dad seen it in me early on. I used to get mistreated. My dad would beat me harder, or he would, say certain things to me, but I will never forget this one beating. And I deserved it too. I deserved this beating. I think I stole some batteries from like ShopRite or something. It was a mess, mess. And my dad came over, and his exact words was, I told your little sissy behind the I said, you gonna stop calling me a sissy.
Right.
And he's like, I ain't gonna keep calling you a sissy, because only sissies still. So he going back over, and I looked at her and I was like, child. And I sat on the step. Mind you, I had to be about 13. This is when I really started to kind of like come into Jacen.
Yeah.
And I remember he beat me. I didn't cry. And because I didn't cry, he beat me harder. And he was slurring things and saying things, and and it's funny, fast forward before my dad passed in 2003, we ended up having a conversation about that experience. And he said to me that, he was sorry, and he apologized, and he said that he didn't understand, or he felt like by me being gay, he failed as a father.
Right.
And I think a lot of black men struggle with that, because they see the sexual aspect of it and not the person behind it. Because most heterosexual men, they be so worried about how we have sex.
Right.
They don't understand that we got the same problems,
Yes.
whether we dating men or dating women, it's all the same. And my dad, I forgave him, and we just moved on.
Right. Yes. Go ahead, Dan. I like this. Y'all enjoying this? Because I am. So let's talk about ballroom.
And you getting a lot of tea out of me that folks don't normally get. So you getting a lot out of me. So you
They
getting
probably don't know what to ask, Jacen.
Yeah, they don't know what to ask. They didn't even talk about ballroom or makeup. But go ahead, we talk about ballroom.
So now we talk about ballroom.
Go on, okay.
So let's talk about your introduction into ballroom. How did that come?
I was 16 years old. I was in the Gallery Mall, which is now the Fashion District in Philly. Alvernian Prestige was walking around by the McDonald's, because all the gays and just everybody used to just hang out in the Gallery Mall at the school. And me and my friends was there, and I used to have this S-curl. and my hair would be like gel down. And you say I look like Genuine. I still get that sometimes. A funny story, when I saw him when I was older, he said, you kind of look like you could be my little brother. So anyway, looked like Genuine.
Okay.
He gave me a business card. We had business cards and beepers back then. And he gave me his business card and said, I want you to model for Prestige Entertainment. And I was like, what is that? And my friends said, oh, he wants you to be a model. I was like, I'm trying to be no damn model.
Right.
And besides, at the time, my mom wouldn't let me leave out the house to go to no model meeting.
Right.
I lived in Uptown, East Oak Lane, West Oak Lane. The model meeting was in Southwest. That means I would have to catch the bus, the train, the trolley just to get out. My mom would have never went for that. I was a church kid. I was a latchkey kid.
Yes.
I had to cook for my little brother. I had to study for school. My mom was not playing that. Well, one day, Jacen being grown, I had my one-way line. I called him. And when I called him, I left a message on his beeper and told him to call my number. He called me back. I said, I want to come to the model meeting today. He said, all right. He gave me his address, told me how to catch the bus, what stop to get off at, all that. Snuck out the house, went in my mom's pocketbook, took $5.
Okay.
I went to the store, got the change, got on the bus, whatever, got to West Philly. I get there, knock on the door, I come in the room, it's gays, it's lesbians, it's trans, it's drags. I'm looking like, what the hell is going on? Who are these people?
Yes.
They whisked me in the room and shut the door. And I hear everybody like, oh, he cute, he cute, he cute. And I'm like, what is happening? They came in with an application, fill this out, you're gonna be in the House of Prestige. I was like, the House of Prestige? What is that?
Yes.
Still didn't know what it was.
Right.
The first ball that I went to was in '99. Wendy Williams was actually on the microphone.
Come on.
It was the Prestige House ball. I was supposed to be in Grand March, but I had to sneak out to go to that because my mom did not let me do this stuff, right? So when I finally got there, I ended up missing the Grand March, and the fight ended up breaking out, so I never got a chance to walk the ball.
Wow.
Fast forward, the first ball that I actually walked was in 2000, the Crystal Ball, and I never forget the first person that I realized was trans that I met was Ashley Icon.
Oh, okay.
I was in the elevator going upstairs to the ballroom. She was in there. She had a two-piece orange outfit on, this blonde curly hair, and this thing over her head that said Icon. And she looked so much like Little Kim. And I remember talking to her in the elevator, and she was like, where you going? I said, I'm going to the bar. I'm in the House of Prestige. And she said, oh, so you my nephew? I said, oh, are you a Prestige? She said, no, I'm an Icon. I said, oh, okay.
Oh, she was an icon back then.
No, she was in the House of Icon.
Oh.
So she took me over to the table and you sat me down without burning. Just my nephew that I hugged her, all that. Never knew she was transgender. Never knew.
She looks over.
Never knew.
Ashley looks over.
During LSS, they called her out for Femme Queen performance, so she started voguing. So I'm like, oh, she know how to dance. Yeah. Like I'm saying, what is a Femme Queen? Like, what is that?
Yeah.
And back then I was like, well, that means that she was born a man. And I was like, what?
Yes, bitch.
Because when I think about being younger, whenever I thought, I'm thinking RuPaul.
You're thinking drag queen.
I'm thinking drag queen.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was scared of drag queen.
Right.
Because the makeup, the hair, it was like...
it was too much.
It was too much. I'm 16 years, I didn't understand it.
Right.
But meeting Ashley, I was like, well, wait a minute.
Yes.
After Ashley, I met Saisha, and then I met Carrie, and I met Sanaya, and I was like,
yes.
Oh, wow. Like, okay, like, all right. But I always gravitated to the girls.
Right.
And I will admit, I had times of misgendering girls when I was younger. I was ignorant. I was rude. I didn't know any better.
Right.
But they taught me.
Yes.
They taught me and held me accountable. And I'm thankful for the women. I love the skin off their back.
Yes.
Love
oh my God, that was such a good story. So can you share with us your most memorable moment in Ballroom? Your experience, your personal experience.
My most memorable moment in Ballroom. I had a lot of moments.
Yeah, but what was that moment when you felt like, bitch, I have arrived?
It's two moments.
Okay, give it
for two different reasons.
Okay.
In 2001, at the Quran Ball, Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll.
Okay.
During that time frame, I was like the hot shit. I was the hot young person in Philly walking face. Kareem Cartier at the time, now Gracie, was like the it bitch for Butch Queen face.
Right.
And it was like Chicken Blonick. He was like the it one for face.
Yeah.
Brandon Allure. It was a ball, the Prestige reunion ball, the night before the Quran Ball, and people were scared to go bad on Chicken.
Okay.
Statement Stars and Legends, SSL. Now they call it LSS.
Okay.
And he called me out and he was like, where's the boy that won the ball last night, Jason Ebony? And I came out, I'm selling it. He was like, stand right there. If anybody wants it for Ebony, bring it. All the face kids in the building came out, all strong. We all had a moment on the stage, and I ended up winning the ball that night over everybody.
Yes.
So it was that moment for me.
Okay.
And then when you walk a category like face, it is very challenging to have longevity. And you're lucky because face is a lifestyle category. It's not just a category, it's a lifestyle. It's
so
all
what
the
makes
things
it challenging? Your face changes?
Your face changes, weight changes, skin changes, look changes. Like it's a lot to maintain that level of just pristine image and grooming. Beauty. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I've watched people that came out with me fall by the wayside and not look as good as they did when they were reigning in the face category. So fast forward 2006, 2007, I was hot shit too. You know, I had my reign.
Come on,
I had some reigns. And we were in Chicago, and the House of Escada was in the bathroom, and they were trying it. And I remember Maxwell and Sean, they were saying some smart shit, saying like, oh, Jacen here, child, she ain't winning over us, da da da. I went to the bathroom with my girlfriend Chipper, my best friend.
Okay.
I came out the bathroom, I said, bitch, who you talking to?
Okay.
She said, oh, bitch, you ain't gonna do nothing here, this is our city, da 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 da. I said, y'all got me fucked up.
Yes.
I left the ball, went back to the hotel, I grabbed all black, came back to the ball. When I came back to the ball, there's a clip on YouTube. You can see my brown shirt underneath the black sweater.
Okay.
They were on the category when I walked through the ball. The Escadas were doing the production. I walked through their production.
Bitch!
I snatched my glasses off and was like, bitch, I'm here. I ate everybody up.
Come on, Jacen!
Everybody up.
Yes!
Because it was like, I've always been so defiant.
Yes.
Like so defiant. I've always had this attitude. Because like, don't get me wrong, I have battled some boys that are beautiful.
Yes.
But bitch, they ain't me.
Yes!
They ain't me. They are not me.
Yes!
They don't look like me, they don't smell like me.
Right!
They don't dress like me, they don't wake the room up like me. It's the attitude, it's it's more than just being a beautiful face. Because once you're a beautiful face and you're battling a beautiful face, what's next?
Right.
What's next?
It's an energy.
It's an energy.
Yes.
It's an energy.
Oh my God. What role does performance play when expressing your identity within the ballroom community?
Performance plays a big role because performance is confidence.
That's right.
And if you're not confident, you're not going to perform well. Also, nerves is performance. Because a lot of times you take those nerves that turns into confidence that makes your performance stellar. There have been times that I've walked balls and I've been nervous as shit.
Really?
What? For the 25,000.
Okay.
I know everybody, it was the most controversial thing in ballroom.
Yes.
But battling Whitney is somebody, when I came out, I looked up to him.
Yeah, Whitney is the face, right?
He is the face.
Yeah.
Blueprint.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. When you think about somebody that was able to preserve for so many years and be at the pinnacle of the category. But I always said, if we ever met, bitch, what's up?
Yes.
So at the back of the runway.
To the back.
At the back of the runway, watching that battle, I told my son, Junior, I'm going like this. And he's like, what's wrong? I said, bitch, I want Whitney. He was like, do you? I said, bad. He was like, go get him. And I activated, let's go. I didn't know what was gonna happen with the battle.
Right.
All I knew is that you got two titans that are on the floor. He's a great, I'm one of the greats.
Right.
And two greats are colliding. You got Godzilla and King Kong.
Right.
They're about to battle down.
Yeah.
And I was the supreme that reigned.
Yes.
And that was just that. But I was still nervous.
Right.
But I turned those nerves into energy that made my performance stellar.
Right.
And people can argue about who should have won all they won.
Yeah.
The money is spent.
Right.
They say I smoked the TV.
That's the shade. That's the shade that people talking about. Bitch, and we love it. Yes. But that was a good battle.
It was a good battle.
Yes.
It was a great battle.
Giselle, you and Giselle.
Me and Giselle, yes. That was
a good moment.
It was a good moment.
Yes.
But she still don't want it though. I'm kidding.
That's a beautiful woman.
That is a beautiful woman.
Yes. So I have another question. So Jacen, how does the ballroom community empower our community, meaning the gay community, particular gay men?
You hear the lingo.
Okay.
You hear the swag.
That's right.
You hear the attitude, the energy. That's ballroom.
That's right.
And that's the part that's so bizarre to me.
Even this, come on.
Yeah, all clock.
Yes,
that's ballroom.
Yes.
And when I see people like dating and being a part of ballroom used to be a challenge because folks didn't want to date ballroom people, so we had to hide it. But y'all want to be like us. We're the cool kids.
Yes.
What you mean?
Talk your shit.
How we dress, how we talk, how we get our hair done, our nails, attitude, swag, charisma, all that stuff. It comes from ballroom. Ballroom is pop culture.
Come on, Jacen.
Ballroom is Black history.
Yes, it is.
Ballroom is American history.
Yes.
The gay community would not be the gay community without Ballroom, baby.
Talk your shit.
It wouldn't be that.
That's true, though.
It wouldn't be that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a heavy influence.
It's a heavy influence.
Yes, heavy influence on the community.
Heavy.
Yes. Okay. Can you discuss the different categories in the ballroom? Like, is a major influence, because I was having this conversation. I know my friend like, oh, bitch, you tried that. No, I'm bringing it here to the icon. Can you discuss the different categories in ballroom that has influenced the entertainment industry?
Every single one.
Thank you.
Every single one.
Thank you, Jacen. And I didn't talk to him before this interview.
There isn't one that supersedes the other. And I will say that, of course, everybody wants to vogue femme. Vogue is the pinnacle category.
Yeah.
But at one time, people used to read Voguers.
Yes.
So voguing, they used to look at Vogue like, oh, you're dirty. You know, you be on the floor and cleaning the floor and all that stuff.
Oh, really?
And it's interesting now that Vogue is the category. But respectfully so, that's a lot of fucking talent.
That is.
That's talent.
That is.
And then also, too, when I say all of them, I mean that with respect and honesty, because face, runway,
yes,
fashion, realness, how to blend into society. Even though we are all, I do believe that we are past the point where we have to blend into the society. We don't have to do that anymore. But ballroom categories overall influence everything. Like, there is no one category that supersedes the next.
Yes.
And that depends on who you talk to, too. Somebody else may have a different opinion than mine, but I'm telling you, ballroom is it.
Right.
And if you can't get in, we're sorry.
Yes.
We're full.
So look, Jacen, you're no longer a part of ballroom no more, is you?
I'm always going to be a part of ballroom.
Okay. You don't belong to a house anymore?
Well, no, I would not say I belong to Supreme Montclair.
Okay.
I belong to Jacen Bowman.
Okay.
Supreme Montclair is always going to be my baby. I closed the house for membership, and I'm not actively walking a ball again.
Okay, so
But that might change, too.
Okay, but why you feel like that now?
What else is left for me to do?
So do you consider bowing out gracefully?
Yes, bowing out gracefully, bowing out on top. See, ballroom is a drug.
Say it.
Ballroom is a drug. Let me tell you something. I walk another ball after winning this $25,000 with Mia, and they'll serve me even if I'm sitting. And you know what that's going to do? Oh, bitch, I got to come back. And I got to come back. And I got to come back. It's a drug. I keep chasing that hit.
Yeah.
And for me, I am so thankful. Thankful that I've had an extremely successful overall ballroom career. And I've walked everywhere, I'm known everywhere, I'm an icon, I'm in 3 Hall of Fames. For right now, because I'm quite sure somebody else will win more money than me, I'm one of the highest paid faces. I made history.
Right, you did.
What else is left for me to do?
Yeah.
One thing that I'm not in the New York Hall of Fame yet. Not yet, but eventually I'll be there too. It's no rush.
Yes.
I'll be there eventually. But yeah, there's nothing else left for me to do. I've been a leader in houses. I've been somebody that people have looked forward to seeing walk balls.
Right.
This is the young girl's game. This is for the young kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will come back and teach and help motivate and help curate space and occupy space so that ballroom can be like how we were last Saturday at the Roots Picnic.
Yes.
And I will make sure that ballroom shows up everywhere, because ballroom is me. I am ballroom.
Right.
But about me actively participating, being on the floor, going to balls, I'm not interested right now.
Right.
I'm not interested.
Right.
And again, ballroom is a drug. Maybe one day I might want to go take that hit.
Right.
Something may come up and I might be like, you know what? Let me come from behind real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna come from behind.
Okay.
But like, that's just not where I'm at right now.
Right.
I think that it's important that I take the things that I've learned in ballroom and be able to transcend that knowledge somewhere else.
Yes. What would you say to that new girl or that new boy that's interested in joining a house and coming to the ballroom community?
Do your research. Do your research. Understand that everything that glitters ain't gold. Also, if you want to be a part of ballroom, be a part of ballroom. Sit with that.
Okay.
Be a part of ballroom, because ballroom ain't just about getting booked.
Right.
Or, oh, I want to be like Honey Balenciaga and get booked.
Okay.
Honey's an amazing voguer, but she's also an amazing fucking dancer.
Right.
So, again, don't join our community because you want to get bookings and you want to feel fab.
Oh.
Join it because you want chosen family. You want a sense of community. You want to be a part of something that's so much bigger than self.
Okay.
Because ballroom is so much bigger than all of us. And I'm quite sure, and I just said this recently too, that I wonder if Crystal LaBeija, looking down on us, would have thought that when she lost that pageant to a queen named Harlow from Philadelphia, that creating her own system would have became this.
Wow.
Also, do your research. Learn the history, the real history of ballroom. Not just what you see on Pose.
You just taught me something.
Not what you just see on Paris is Burning or the documentary Queen. Really learn ballroom. Also understand, people that's watching, ballroom has a lot of different people in it. Everybody's not homeless. Everybody's not HIV positive. Everybody doesn't suffer from mental issues.
True.
Everybody is not on the less fortunate end. We have, like I said earlier, doctors, lawyers, advocates, advocacy. We are a global sensation in a world of people that are more than what you guys see on TV.
A community of
We are
resources.
a community of resources. Yes, we are so many things.
Yes.
And just appreciate those things about ballroom. Don't just jump into it because it seems like the cool thing to do.
Right. When it comes to houses, do you feel like they lost their value, or do they still stand for what it initially was created for?
I think ballroom goes through a lot of different changes.
Okay.
I think certain houses at certain times, that people hold on to leadership too long, it shakes the foundation a little bit, but it's okay, because a lot of times what I've noticed from being a leader, a lot of people in ballroom don't really want to lead, they just want the title. So they want to be mother and they want to be father, because the title of how it sounds to be, I'm the father.
Yes.
They don't want to do the work. So a lot of times it's unfortunate that people get stuck in positions of parental for all these years, because even though they may have trained the next in line, they may have schooled the next person, but
they're not ready to
they're
move.
not ready to move. And you know, it was great that there has been an influx of new houses. I'm sure LaBeija and Pendarvis and all Legend and all those houses thought they would still be here, but ballroom is a washing machine. It's going to keep on spinning and keep on spinning. And sometimes you take those clothes at the the washer, and put them in the dryer, and now we got a whole new sector of community. And that's what it is. Ballroom is going to keep evolving and keep changing.
Right. And in closing, Jacen, what is your hopes for the gay community and the ballroom community?
Y'all get it together. We are doing a lot of pointless inward fighting, bickering. For what? Like, I think that we need to really spend a lot of time really community building and not doing performative conversations and panel discussions. It's time for some action. You know, I love the fact that we do these conferences and people get up there and they talk the talk, but it's time that a lot of y'all come from behind and really walk this walk. You know, we are resilient, we are fighters, we're everything. And I need y'all to understand and just stand in your power.
Baby, Jacen came here and shook the fucking
Did
room,
I?
baby. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I feel like I was in the University Gay School of America.
Well, you know, my book, I'm writing my book.
Yes.
I think it's time.
Yes, it is time.
I'm writing my
Jacen,
book.
you're filled with so much wisdom. Thank you so much for stopping past. And it's just amazing when you see a person on the YouTube, because that's how I was introduced to Jacen. Him and my girl Kelly was going back and forth. That's how I was introduced.
Kelly, you're wet.
And they was all just giving a kiki moment. And when you actually sit down and get to know a person and see how much wisdom they fill with, you just get a different perspective of them. I have a newfound respect for you.
And I know what a lot of it is too. People have always asked me to talk. And it's not that I don't want to talk, but I love to talk.
Yes.
But I think that, like, when it comes to doing like stuff like this,
Yes.
it's a little uncomfortable still. It shouldn't be.
Right.
But it's a little uncomfortable, but I'm slowly doing some more talking. Y'all,
Yes.
Y'all gonna hate his mouth. Don't
Yes,
you worry.
because you got a lot that people need to hear. So thank you so much for coming, Jacen. We got a gift for you. He at the Rugged West studio. We got to make sure we give Jacen his gift. Okay, let's bring Jacen his gift. Hand me Jacen gift. All right, now Jacen might want to switch his gift out, but it's okay.
I got a gift?
Yes, we got you a gift right here,
my
Jacen.
God, I love gifts.
Thank you so much for coming today. Yes, Jacen, we appreciate you. We love you so much. I love you so much. Thank you for doing this for me.
No problem.
Okay?
No problem.
Give it up for Jacen! Jacen, bitch, you did that. No, for real. Don't you ever come in here and shake up the fucking room.
What did I do?
It was just so informative.